This project is basically Goofus Theatre working with Lancashire Archives to start to really explore the space of the archives and bring live performance into that space.
One thing that we're keen to do is to encourage people, no matter what age, what background, whoever you are, to come in and feel like those local history spaces are for you and your heritage. And this just seemed like a really unique opportunity to not only have those performances take place in local history spaces, but to also use archives and local history collections to actually drive the narrative of the show as well.
Each different space that we're going to has its own set of volunteers, and they've been brilliant because they've basically just researched different stories, even photographs.
We got the message out there that we wanted volunteers from everywhere in Lancashire to come in, get involved, both here at Preston in Lancashire Archives, but also at our libraries throughout Lancashire.
I'm glad that I got to see the rehearsal, and I also like that there was a sort of personal question and answer at the end. That was really nice to see the creative process and the production process as well. Part of what I love about working at the archives is all of the stories that you can pull out, but this was really lovely to see it reinterpreted and brought to life and shared in a really accessible way, and it made me feel like a child again, and that was just amazing.
It's all going to culminate this week with performances at Lancaster, Chorley, Fleetwood and Burnley, and we are hoping that lots and lots of families are going to come along and they're going to enjoy this wonderful celebration of Lancashire heritage.
And on the washing line, these are all stories that have been handwritten out by the volunteers. All of these things influence the piece. People afterwards can read those stories that are in the audience and connect with the archives and see what the volunteers have been finding out.
I think it's important that these things are never lost. And if we can bring them to a wider audience, then I think that's wonderful.
It's so fun and so freeing to be able to kind of start with the framework of the stories and then be able to explore different aspects with the shadow puppetry and the tabletop puppetry and mask and clowning and music, and using all those kind of traditional storytelling elements and be able to weave them all together and create them all together as a team with them. It's been really fun and just really enjoyable.
I just thought the two girls were absolutely brilliant. How they remembered it all, how they skipped from one sort of character to the next. Honestly, it was brilliant.
It was all just really magical and really entertaining. I loved it.
It's so special and also quite rare, I think, to have something made so locally for local people by local people, kind of teaching us about where we are right now with a sense of place and time.
One of the best parts was the shadow puppetry that was going on. That was wonderful because it kind of gives the audience time to reflect on the story that's been told.
We loved the boggart, Betty the boggart, she was our favourite. Things like that can so easily get lost if we don't keep telling them. And I think if they just sit in archives, then people aren't accessing them. So to bring them out and kind of reimagine them for a younger audience is a great way of continuing tale-telling traditions.
I just loved the kind of the music and the dancing and the stories brought to life. I thought it was a really wonderful afternoon.
They were both so much fun. I like the way they both were clearly local, and I like the way they could do lots of different sort of accents and voices, how they use the props to sort of signify character, and they both played every character. It was really creative. I loved it.
The dances, the routines, the arm movements, and even just the way they moved with the props felt so magical.
We loved the show. Both of my children sat throughout the whole show and really enjoyed it. He particularly was absolutely enthralled.
I liked when the puppets jumped on the children's heads, and I also liked the singing, the dancing and the music.
It's brilliant how you've let us stay, see the puppets, ask questions, and I really liked it.
It's been great to kind of bring these stories to life, these Lancashire stories, to get to work with puppets and music and dancing and silliness has just been joyous.
It's been great working with Goofus Theatre. It's been great to use archive collections and local history collections in a really unique and new way, and it's just been great to see the reaction from everybody, the volunteers, the families, and Goofus Theatre themselves as well. They've been a joy to work with.
There's such rich things going on in the archives. There's loads here for everyone, young and old. Brilliant stories, local stories. So what I'd love from this piece is not only do they enjoy the little piece that we're putting on, but they come back and they explore and they find their own stories.